One prisoner out, one prisoner in. And it doesn't really look like Act 2 of Wano is gonna end anytime soon. Chapter 950 of One Piece is out, and it looks like we are back to the scene jumps from before the prison arc. But I'm gonna say this, I don't mind in the slightest. The chapter was giving us a great overview over the current situation in Wano while we were busy watching the kaiju fight between Big Mom, Queen and Luffy. I was a little bit disappointed that the brawl in the capital was off-screened once more, but at the same time we got to see Zoro in action this chapter, so I feel that equals out. Also, the way the anime is going right now, I kinda like to think that we will get an extended version of all these events there. I mean, what better way to fill in content, am I right? Finally, we also got the setup for the next big challenge in Wano. But let's start from the beginning. This week we got the second episode of our mini cover story series surrounding Betch and his crew. While the cover story doesn't show us anything new, except maybe that they're still sailing on a piece of cake, we got some impactful information in the captions. Because their new mission is to reunite with Chiffon's twin sister Lola. And I hope you guys will agree with me that this smells like some heavy foreshadowing here. Betch, Chiffon and Lola are all friends with the Straw Hats, and I think Lola has long been set out to be one of the most important factors in Big Mom's redemption arc, that by now I think no one can deny we're heading for, if we are not already in it. So while I'm not sure if Chiffon can find Lola in time to head to Wano with her, I'm sure that it will get relevant in the future. But now let's head into the chapter, and with that back to Udon Prison. We start off the chapter with a flashback to, I guess like 5 minutes ago, where Luffy offers Kid to join the alliance to take down Kaido. Kid, however, declines. He remembers just too well what happened the last time he tried to team up with someone to take the Yonko down. Apu and Hawkins joined forces with the enemy and left him in the prison to suffer. And who knows what they did to the rest of the crew. But if Killer is any example, I don't even want to think about it. As a result, Kid and Killer leave the prison to look for the rest of their crew. And while Killer obviously has been tortured and brainwashed, he doesn't seem to have any loyalty issues whatsoever towards his captain and follows him out of the gates. Now, I would speculate that some of you are probably going to be a little bit disappointed about this refusal of Luffy's offer, but I'm gonna tell you with 99% certainty that we will see Luffy and Kid fight side by side in this arc. I actually wouldn't have liked it too much for Kid to say yes right away anyway. He got closer with Luffy and saw what he's capable of, yes, but he still needs to be convinced more. I think that goes really well with his character. Luffy himself seems to be in a terrible state. While he might have resisted the virus a little bit longer than the other prisoners, most likely since he wasn't as starved and weakened as them, he now is clearly suffering heavily under its effect. And yes, finally, my favorite pirate reindeer is getting to heal someone in Wano. Not only do I think that the scene of him sitting at the small table with his medical supplies looks super amazing, please someone illustrate this, but also do I hope that this won't be the last illness we see Chopper cure. The only thing I wonder here is what happened to the other infected prisoners and the rest of the Beast Pirates. Did they lock them up? Did they die? And while we're at it, what happened to the prisoners in the other 4 sections of the prison? Shouldn't they be heading for freedom? Or are they just similarly reluctant as the ones we saw earlier? I guess we will see. Luffy meanwhile is having a small brotherly argument with Momonosuke that ends up in Momo being thrown from the guardhouse where Luffy's being treated. In the courtyard, Hyogoro and Raizo have been having an intense discussion with the prisoners. Even though they have been riled up a little by Luffy, they are still reluctant to fight, especially after hearing that Luffy is another pirate, same as Kaido. But in that moment, Momo comes, or rather flies, into the plaza. And same as Hyogoro, who seems to be a sort of representation of the audience by now, we finally understand what has been missing. The heir of the Kozuki clan. The prisoners kneel down in tears and promise to fight for Momo. And while I love the speech that Luffy gave last chapter, the visual of Momo surrounded by everyone looks simply incredible, out of a lack for a better word. This gave me some goosebumps. But now it's time to turn on the rotation carousel once more, and we first end up back in Curry. When we think back, we remember that Shutenmaru was leading Kinemon and Inuarashi to show them something important. And while I was hoping for some secret weapon, a secret ally, or a weak spot of Kaido maybe of some sort to aid them in their fight, it ended up being much darker than that. What we see is an enormous graveyard that was filled with hundreds of the Kozuki's allies. Suffering heavily under the cruel rule of the Shogun and Kaido, they had tried to invade Onigashima on their own in a desperate suicide mission. And none of them came back. What I really like about this moment is not only that it once again drives home the suffering in the country, but how Shutemaru uses it to make a point to Kinemon, but at the same time to proclaim his allegiance to their cause. Not only does it push the plot, but we can also fill more and more gaps in our knowledge about Wano's history. Our next stop is a forest outside of the flower capital. And yes, we get more Zoro samurai action. I wish that some of the crew, especially those who joined in the Grand Line, would get a little more light to shine in this arc, but of course I would never complain about seeing Zoro fighting. Especially when considering that he apparently just took out half of the damn Oniwabanshu ninja squad. Goddamn Zoro. After cutting down either Fujin or Raijin, cause we're not sure who is who yet, Zoro goes back into a small shrine where Hiyori is waiting for him. Clearly, the ninjas had tracked them all the way to the capital, and Zoro had just saved her life once again. Without getting into their conversation too much, I want to say that the artwork here is once again wow. It just carries so much atmosphere and emotion. And the Zoro Hiyori thing looks more and more like a love story to me. Not that I particularly mind. Together, they now plan on taking back Shusui for Zoro, so it seems like this pairing will go on for a little bit longer. Finally, we end up back in the capital, and oh boy, we know that Law is strong, but he really looks like he got the shit beat out of him here. And while it's very possible that Hawkins got backup from Drake and the others after the Straw Hat crew fled the scene, it still freaks me out that Hawkins doesn't even have as much as a scratch on him. But then again, when I think about it, it's very possible that Law didn't even try to fight him in the first place, since his crew was taken hostage and used as Hawkins' extra lives. It looks like saving Law might be the next big mission for the crew. But damn, look at that resolve in Law's eyes. This will be a real test for his loyalty towards Luffy. So guys, let's recap. We got to see the aftermath of the breakout in Udon, where it looks like Luffy will be healed by Chopper and the prisoners are being riled up by Momo. I think we are still far from done in Udon, and I'm curious to see what happens next. We saw Shutemaru revealing the tragic fate of some of their allies and at the same time swearing loyalty to the Alliance. And we got Zoro taking out the ninja squad sent after him and Hiyori, as well as the continuation of their journey together. Finally, we had to find out that now that we got one prisoner out, we have a new one. Now that Luffy is finally free, Law is about to be questioned by Hawkins and Drake. This looks like a pretty dire situation for him. All in all guys, this chapter had a great mix of everything I enjoy about Wano so far. Samurai action, emotions, great artwork, Chopper doing stuff, and a new challenge. But now I can't wait to hear your thoughts about the events. Did you enjoy this chapter? What do you think about Law? And where do you think things will go from here on out? If you liked this video, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to be notified for any future content of mine. Or dislike, don't share and unsubscribe. It's a free world, people. I hope to see you around next time, and until then, have a great week. Oh, and don't forget to put your notifications on. Bye!